Hi, my name is Amanda Poor. I'm 33 years old and I currently live in South Dakota in the United States. Currently I'm a student studying mental health counseling, but my real passion is writing. And that is actually something that I discovered through my work in coaching with Crystal Lynn. I've always loved to write, and I've always known that about myself and known that I had a gift and a talent to write, but I was never able to really envision that being anything other than a hobby. But through this process of coaching with Crystal Lynn, I've discovered that writing truly is my passion, and now I definitely see that being a part of my career in the future, as well as my work in the mental health community. When I first started working with Crystal Lynn and coaching, I had absolutely no idea what to expect. I had just learned about her through a YouTube video, and I hadn't really seen any of her writing or any of her work, but I thought, I saw that she offered online coaching, and I thought, okay, she seems to really understand what she's talking about. So I thought I'd give it a try, and in that first discovery session that I had with her, it was immediately apparent to me that this was where I was supposed to be at this current moment in time. And so I decided to engage in the process and the work of coaching with her, and it has definitely not been anything like what I would have expected. One of the reasons I was most drawn to Crystal Lynn was because of the spiritual approach that she takes in her work of coaching. In the past, I've had traditional counseling with a licensed therapist, and in a traditional approach, things are very structured, things are very rigid, and spirituality is often overlooked. It's not really always the case, but in my experience, that had been what I had experienced. And from the very first time that I talked to Crystal Lynn, I could see that she took a spiritual approach to her work as a coach, and I've always known that I'm a spiritual person, so it just seemed like a perfect fit right from the very beginning, because I'm such a spiritual person. And I had neglected that about myself for a long time. During this work of coaching with Crystal Lynn, I've really learned to accept my spiritual nature, and to, trust that God is working in me and leading me and helping me in ways that I don't always understand and I don't always see immediately. Another reason that I was drawn to this work with Crystal Lynn is because of the approach that she takes to emotional wellness. She puts a very intense focus and importance on what you feel, and that isn't always the case in traditional counseling. You would think that it would be, but in my experience, feelings are often overlooked or kind of dismissed as not as important as action. And Crystal Lynn has this really great balance in her work between action and what you're feeling. She puts a very specific importance on what you're feeling, and that is something that I knew from the very beginning is what I needed, and that is kind of what led me to my work with her. My whole life I've struggled with my emotions and my feelings, and I've spent a lot of time denying them and dismissing them and trying to bury them because I didn't know how to express them, or I didn't understand them, or people around me told me that I wasn't supposed to feel a certain way. And that is actually one of the major lasting changes that I've seen during this process of coaching with Crystal Lynn. I've learned to allow my feelings to be whatever they are. And when I started this work, I guess I would have said that I really didn't know what I was feeling most of the time. And that's not the case anymore. Through this process of coaching with Crystal Lynn, I've learned to understand my feelings. I've learned to explore them. I've learned to allow them, and to allow whatever I feel to be whatever I feel. And that's one of the great things about Crystal Lynn's approach, is she doesn't dismiss or deny anything that you're feeling. She sees you as you are, and she helps you to be able to understand and express your emotions and feelings in a way that would be most beneficial for your healing. When I first started this process with her, I guess I would have said that I thought that I would, work with her for a certain amount of time or X amount of time, and then I'd be all better, I wouldn't feel pain anymore. I feel happy all the time, and I would be able to achieve my goals and to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. But one thing I've learned through this work with Crystalline is that healing and awakening is a process. It's not something that happens overnight, and as hard as you try, you can't do everything all at once, and that is definitely something that she has helped me see, and something that she has helped me to be more committed to. She's helped me to understand that this is a process that takes time, and you may not always make the growth in the amount of time that you want, but if you're committed to the process, you always experience change and growth in the way that you need at the specific time that you need. And that is something that is really different about the approach that Crystalline takes, is that she has this way of understanding you and seeing you right where you are and helping you to know what you need to do at that moment in time to experience the change and growth that you need. And that is definitely one of the things that has helped me to stay engaged in this process, and to know that no matter what happens or how long it takes, that as long as I'm committed to the process, I will experience growth. And I've been changed through this process of working with Crystalline, and I may not have experienced the great amount of change that I wanted in a short amount of time, but there's definitely dramatic change in the way that I see myself, in the way that I see my future, and the way that I see the world around me, and I couldn't be more thankful for that change. Working with Crystalline is a great opportunity, and it is not something that I take lightly, and I'm very thankful for her. Thanks for watching.